makes us so big. I do have to say, though, you know, I was, just before I left, I had one of these television, they were turned on, and they said, well, you know, they have about 4,500 people inside because that's maximum. By the way, it took us about 2 minutes to sell that out. But we had 4,500 inside. But there are thousands and thousands of people outside, protesters. But they weren't protesters. They're our people. They can't get in, and they're saying they're protesters. So next time we have to get a bigger venue. We like this venue. It represents a lot, right? Represents a lot. And they were very nice to us. But we do need a bigger venue, and we'll get a bigger venue next time. I want to thank you, and I want to thank thousands of people outside, and they're waving, and I want to just stop, and I want to go and wade in and hug them and kiss them. But there's a problem. Secret Service doesn't love that idea so much. Well, I want to thank you all. So a lot of things are happening. Thank you. Thank you. I love you, too. I love you, too. Love you, too. So we're just beginning this process, and you know it started, believe it or not, right? June 16th, 1 year, the escalator. 1 year, this is the 1 year anniversary, and we're going to make it, hopefully we're going to make it a worthwhile year. They're all talking about we've created a movement. Somebody said, doesn't make any difference how Donald Trump does from now on because what he's done has never been done before. I said, like hell it doesn't make a difference. It makes a big difference. I am so looking forward to the debate. The debate. There's so much there. I am so looking forward to it. The debate with Crooked Hillary. I assume she's going to be allowed. No, I assume she's going to be allowed to run. I mean, you tell me. You think that's a fair situation? Oh, boy. But one of those things. And Bernie's still out there. He's still out there. Bernie is out there. And I'm hearing we're going to pick up a lot of Bernie supporters because, you know, one thing, which is amazing, but if you think about it, we're very similar on one thing, except I can do much more about it to fix it, trade. Because he understands that our country is being totally ripped off like you never saw before, ripped off on trade. And I understand it. The difference is I'm going to make the greatest trade deals you've ever seen, ever, ever, ever. We're going to bring our jobs back. And Bernie can't do that. That Bernie can't do, but he understands the basics, and the basics are exactly that. And it's going to be about jobs, and we're going to have an administration that's going to be so, you're going to be so proud of your country. Forget about your president, who cares? We want to be proud of our country. Let's just get it. But you're going to be so proud of your country, and hopefully very, very proud of your president. And I watch this really horrible but professional campaign. I watch it, where Hillary gets up and says, you know, she reads that teleprompter, ba-ba, 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 ba-ba. And then they say, it was a great presentation. What? And she's reading what they're telling her to read. But it won't be easy because the press for this, you know, it's funny. I didn't love the press during the primaries. But now it's like brutal. These people are so one-sided. I have never seen, honestly, I've never seen, like as an example, there are 5,000 protesters. I just said it, one of them. I said, I asked my people, how many are there? Maybe 3, 4, or 500. And the thousands are the people. But this is what it is. It's so biased. It's so slanted. It's so one-sided. And all I can say is, the people out there are really smart because they get it. They understand what's going on. They understand what's going on. And I appreciate it, okay? So look, a couple of things. And I just watched President Obama. And he does it a lot. He does it a lot because we have one after another. We have tragedy after tragedy. And it's a tough situation. But he's largely, to a large extent, he's blaming guns. And I'm going to save your Second Amendment, folks. I'm going to save your Second Amendment. Totally. And Hillary wants to abolish the Second Amendment. Remember that. Now, more sophisticated than that, But the end result will be she will abolish the Second Amendment. Just remember that. Just remember that, okay? Just remember that. And she's now trying to come back a little bit, but she can't come back because Bernie's over there and others are over there. And actually, Bernie is better on that issue than she is from our standpoint. Maybe we want to run against Bernie, but we can't have, can you believe this guy doesn't give up? One thing, you got to give him credit. You got to give him credit. He doesn't give up. We could have used a guy like that 4 years ago that didn't give up. Wouldn't that have been great? One thing, we don't give up, folks. We don't give up. The problem with our country is we have leaders that give up. They give up on so many things. They gave up on trade. We're being just ripped left and right. They gave up on the borders. They gave up on the borders, totally. They gave up on so many things, and they certainly gave up. It's almost like they gave up on ISIS. I mean, if you think about it, they gave up on ISIS. And just remember this. One of the top people in the administration, the current administration, just said, and I actually wrote it down, that ISIS is working very hard to come into the West. They're working very hard to come into our country, and they are working very hard. And you saw what one sleazebag can do. One sleazebag over the weekend, what he did, the horror that he wreaked on us as a nation. One person laughing as he's shooting, doing Facebook posts as he's shooting, calling people as he's shooting, and killing people, and no more, folks, and just no more. And you know, the gay community, the LGBT community, frankly, the LGBT community, these are people that had a place, and this was a place of safety. This is a place where people felt safe. And if you think about it, what the violation that took place and that was allowed to take place, the violation that took place, and it's due to weakness. It's weakness on behalf of our leadership. It's weakness. People don't respect our country anymore. People don't respect our leadership anymore. People don't respect us anymore. But let me tell you, they're going to respect you folks because things are going to change. Things are going to change. And we are going, you know, I was against the war in Iraq, and I was against it from the beginning. You know, they like to say, well, you know, in 2003, and actually somebody said, even if it was 2004, but the fact is I was against it at the very beginning because I said it's going to destabilize the Middle East. And then what happened is I was right, unfortunately. You know, you had two countries, Iran and Iraq, and they'd fight always, forever. They fight, they fight, they fight. They're the same. They were militarily exactly the same. So they'd fight, they'd get nowhere. In the meantime, they were hurting each other. They couldn't go crazy. So, you know, they were too busy fighting each other. So we knocked out Iraq, and now Iran, as sure as you're standing there, sorry for the seats, but we had to get the people in, okay? We'll get this. And we don't want to do it fast. We want to take our time tonight. What the hell? I came to Dallas. We want to take our time tonight. But as sure as you're standing there, and thank you, darling, I love you. I even love our protesters wherever they are. Don't we have any protesters? So